As far as Jonah spending 3 days in the belly of a fish, I'm going to read a story of the modern man who spent 3 days in the belly of a fish or whale. In February 1891, the ship Star of the East was off the Falkland Islands when the crew spotted an 80-foot sperm whale. 2 rowboats filled with crewmen were launched to capture the monster. Closing in, one harpooner let go his weapon and shafted the whale, which lashed out, almost overturning the boats. Returning to the ship with their dead whale, a crewman realized one sailor, James Bartley, was missing. It was decided he had drowned, tossed overboard in the fight. 6 hours later, the crewmen began removing the blubber from the dead beast. By midnight, the task was still unfinished, and the sailors went to bed. In the morning, they resumed their job. Then the unexpected happened. According to de Parville, editor of the Journal de Débats, writing in Paris in 1914, suddenly the sailors were startled by something in the stomach which gave spasmodic signs of life. Inside was found the missing sailor, James Bartley, doubled up and unconscious. He was placed on deck and treated with a bath of seawater which revived him. But his mind was not clear, and he was placed in the captain's quarters. Recovering, Bartley recalled being hit by the whale's tail, and that he had been encompassed by great darkness, and he felt he was slipping along a smooth passage that seemed to move and carry him forward. His hands came in contact with a yielding, slimy substance, which seemed to shrink from his touch. He could easily breathe, but the heat was terrible. It seemed to open the pores of his skin and draw out his vitality. The next thing he remembered, he was in the captain's cabin. Except for the fact that his face, neck, hands, and other skin had been bleached white, Bartley, like Jonah, survived the belly of the monster. Today, we are all in the belly of the monster, and the monster is everywhere. But let's move on. The author claims that God did not create Adam from the dust of the earth. Honestly. Genesis 2:6-8. But there went up a mist from the earth and watered the whole face of the ground. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. And the Lord God planted a garden eastward of Eden, and there he put the man whom he had formed. Was it a handful? The Bible doesn't say. So we, as Christians, don't claim it was specifically a handful. I did a keyword search for handful on BibleGateway.com, and out of all the times that the word handful came up, it was not in reference to the amount of dust God used to create Adam with. Being that if you take a human, dehydrate him, and crush the dried remains, what do you get? Dust. Mist, or water, plus dust equals our basic physical components. You add the breath of the living God, you've got Adam. Side note, why was it the nostrils? Why didn't God breathe into the mouth? Well, even though most Christians do not accept the spiritual side of yoga, tai chi, qigong, and other forms of healing arts, and show that it is most beneficial to all the organs and muscles in the body when you breathe through the nose instead of the mouth. The ability to breathe through the mouth is just a backup in case we get sick and maybe too much mucus builds up in our nostrils, or maybe some people as a toddler lodge some beans up in their nose. But this is all nonsense, huh?